Fallon Pierce sat across from her seventh blind date in 3 months, wearing her oldest jeans and a faded sweater, claiming she was unemployed and living with roommates. 6 previous dates had made excuses and left within 20 minutes. But Julian Shaw, the single dad who'd shown up in work boots still dusty from his construction job, just smiled. That's tough. What kind of work are you looking for? No judgment, no disappointment, just genuine interest. Fallon felt something shift in her chest. Maybe this time would be different. Maybe honesty could wait just a little longer. Before we begin, let me know where in the world you're watching this from. Now let's start. Fallon Pierce was 33, CEO of Pierce Digital Media, worth approximately $400 million, and completely unable to find a genuine relationship. Every man she dated wanted the CEO, the money, the status. Nobody wanted just Fallon, so she'd started testing them. Blind dates arranged through friends, where she'd show up dressed down, claiming to be broke and struggling, watching how quickly they lost interest when they thought she had nothing to offer. Julian Shaw was different from the start. Her friend Maya had set them up with minimal information. He's a good guy, single dad, works construction, genuine, kind, been through some stuff. Another broke guy? Fallon's assistant had sighed. You're a CEO. Why not date someone successful? Because successful men want trophy wives. I want someone real. She'd shown up at the coffee shop in her test outfit. Old jeans, faded college sweater, minimal makeup, cheap shoes. Julian arrived 5 minutes late, apologizing. Sorry, had to pick up my daughter from school first. Drop-off ran long. He was handsome in an understated way. Dark hair starting to gray at the temples. Strong build from physical work. Kind eyes, a tiredness that spoke of long days and longer nights. They sat, ordered coffee. Fallon launched into her prepared story. So, full disclosure, I'm kind of between jobs right now. Got laid off 3 months ago, still looking. Living with roommates to make rent, it's been rough. She watched his reaction carefully. The other 6 dates had shown immediate disappointment. Made excuses about remembering other obligations. Left her sitting alone. But Julian just nodded sympathetically. That's tough. What field are you in? Media, marketing stuff. Hard to find anything decent lately. I bet. Economy's rough. I'm in construction. Work is steady, but not exactly lucrative. No judgment in his voice. No disappointment. Just empathy. They talked for an hour. Julian told her about his daughter Ruby, 7 years old, the light of his life. About his wife who died in a car accident 3 years ago. About working doubles to afford their small apartment and Ruby's after-school care. It's hard doing it alone, he admitted, but Ruby makes everything worth it. Fallon found herself genuinely interested. Not testing anymore, just talking. What about you? Julian asked. A family? My parents passed when I was young, raised by my grandmother. She died 2 years ago. So it's just me now. That part was true. The loneliness was real, even if the unemployment wasn't. I'm sorry, that must be lonely. It is. They talked about loss, about grief, about carrying on when life knocked you down. Real conversation. The kind Fallon hadn't had in months. When they finally left, Julian walked her to her car, a beat-up Honda she kept for these occasions. I'd love to see you again, he said. If you're interested. I am, very interested. Great, maybe dinner next time? Nothing fancy. I know money's tight for you. There's a good taco place that's cheap and delicious. Fallon felt guilt twist in her stomach. He was being considerate of the financial situation she'd lied about. That sounds perfect. They set a date for Friday. As Julian walked away, Fallon sat in her car, conflicted. She should tell him the truth. But what if knowing changed everything? What if he was only genuine because he thought they were equals in struggle? Her phone rang. Maya. How'd it go? He was perfect. Kind, genuine, didn't care that I was supposedly broke. So you're going to tell him the truth now? Eventually. Fallon. I know. But what if I tell him and he changes? What if suddenly he wants things from me? Or what if you tell him and he doesn't care because he likes you? That's optimistic. That's possible, but the longer you wait, the worse the lie gets. I'll tell him soon. Just let me be sure first. Over the next month, Fallon and Julian saw each other twice a week. Coffee dates, walks in the park, cheap dinners. Fallon maintained her disguise. Old clothes, claims of job searching, careful budgeting. Julian never made her feel bad about it. Would insist on paying, even though she could tell money was tight for him. I've got it, he'd say. You'll get back on your feet soon. The guilt was eating her alive. But she was falling for him. For the way he talked about Ruby with such love. For his work ethic and integrity. for how he treated waitstaff and strangers with kindness, for the way he listened when she talked, really listened. One evening, after dinner, they walked through the park. "Can I tell you something?" Julian said. "Of course. I'm falling for you. Hard. I know we haven't been seeing each other that long, but Fallon, you're different. Real. I can be myself around you." Fallon's heart raced. "I'm falling for you too." "Yeah? Yeah." He kissed her then, soft and tentative. When they pulled apart, both were smiling. "I want you to meet Ruby," Julian said. "If you're ready for that." "I'd love to meet her. She's the most important person in my life. If this is going somewhere, she needs to be part of it." "I understand. And Fallon, I know things are tight for you right now, but that doesn't matter to me. We'll figure it out together, okay?" Fallon felt tears threaten. "Okay." That night, alone in her penthouse apartment, Fallon paced. She was meeting his daughter. This was serious. She had to tell him the truth before it got any deeper. But fear paralyzed her. What if he felt betrayed? What if he walked away? What if the only reason he'd been so kind was because he thought they were both struggling? Her phone buzzed. "Julian, good night. Can't stop thinking about you." "Fallon, same, sleep well." She stared at her phone. Tomorrow. She'd tell him tomorrow. Except tomorrow came and went. Then a week, then another. The lies compounded. Maintaining two wardrobes, one for her real life, one for Julian. Making excuses about why they couldn't go to her place. Claiming roommate drama. It was exhausting. But the relationship was beautiful. Julian was patient, kind, thoughtful. Never rushed her. Never made her feel less than. Loved her for who he thought she was. A struggling woman trying to get back on her feet. Meeting Ruby was perfect. The little girl was shy at first, then warmed up. "Do you like my daddy?" she asked seriously. "I like him very much." "Good, he's been sad since Mommy died. But he smiles now, when he talks about you." Fallon's heart broke and soared simultaneously. She was making him happy, but she was lying to him. "Ruby, can I tell you a secret?" "What?" "Your daddy is one of the best people I've ever met. You're very lucky." "I know. Are you going to stay? Or leave like some of Daddy's other friends?" "I'm going to stay, as long as he'll have me." "Good." 2 months into their relationship, Fallon knew she had to come clean. The guilt was unbearable. She'd fallen completely in love with Julian and Ruby. Wanted a future with them. But that future couldn't be built on lies. She planned everything carefully. Would take him to dinner at a nice restaurant. Tell him the truth. Hope he understood. But the universe had other plans. The day Fallon planned to tell Julian the truth, everything went wrong. She was at Pierce Digital Media headquarters in back-to-back meetings when her assistant interrupted. "Miss Pierce, there's a situation. A reporter is here asking about your dating life." Fallon's stomach dropped. "What?" "Someone tipped off a gossip blog about you dating under false pretenses, testing men by pretending to be broke. They want a statement." "How did they find out?" "Unknown, but it's going to run with or without your comment." Fallon rushed through the rest of her day, mind racing. Had to tell Julian before he saw it online. Had to control this somehow. She called him. "Hey, can we meet tonight? I need to talk to you about something important." "Sure, everything okay?" "It will be, I hope." "Can you come to my place? My real place." "Your real place? What does that mean?" "I'll explain everything tonight. Please trust me." "Okay, text me the address." Fallon sent her penthouse address. Waited for his response. It took 5 minutes. "This is your address, the building downtown?" "Yes, I'll explain. Please come. 7 p.m.? "I'll be there." Fallon prepared for the conversation. Practiced what she'd say. How she'd explain. At 6:45, her phone exploded with notifications. The story had gone live. CEO Fallon Pierce's secret, faking poverty to test dates. Billionaire businesswoman caught lying to men. CEO who pretended to be poor. Meet Fallon Pierce's elaborate dating ruse. Photos of her in both personas. Boardroom Fallon and broke Fallon. Julian's name wasn't mentioned, thankfully. But the damage was done. Her phone rang. "Julian. Fallon, I just saw something online. Tell me it's not true." "Julian, please come over. Let me explain in person." "Is it true? Are you the CEO? Have you been lying to me for 2 months?" "Yes, but please." "I can't believe this. I trusted you. I introduced you to my daughter." "Julian, wait." He hung up. Fallon called back. Voicemail. Again. Voicemail. She grabbed her keys, drove to his apartment. Rang the doorbell. Julian answered, face hard. "You need to leave." "Please let me explain." "Explain what? That you've been lying since the first date? That everything I thought I knew about you was fake? Not everything. My feelings are real. My past, my loneliness, my love for you and Ruby. All of that is real. But you're a CEO, a billionaire. Why would you lie about that? Because every man I've ever dated only wanted me for my money, for my status. I needed to know someone could love just me. The real me. The real you? I don't even know who that is. The woman I fell for doesn't exist. She does exist. That woman is me. Just without the job title and the money. Those are pretty significant details to leave out, Fallon. Or is that even your real name? It is my real name. Everything else I told you was true. My parents dying, my grandmother, the loneliness, all true. Except the part where you're one of the wealthiest women in the city. That's a pretty big lie. Ruby appeared behind Julian. Daddy, why are you yelling? Julian's expression softened. Sorry, sweetheart, go back to your room. Is Fallon leaving? Don't make her leave. Ruby, she makes you happy. Don't be mad at her. Julian closed his eyes, struggling. Ruby, adults are complicated. Please go to your room. After Ruby left reluctantly, Julian turned back to Fallon. You need to go. I can't do this right now. Julian, I love you. That was never a lie. You don't lie to people you love. Not for 2 months. Not about something this big. I was going to tell you tonight. I was planning to explain everything. Only because you got caught. If that article hadn't come out, would you have told me? Yes, I've been trying to find the courage. Courage? You had plenty of opportunities. Every time I paid for dinner with money I could barely afford. Every time I felt bad that you were struggling. Every time I tried to help you because I thought we were in this together. You watched me worry about you and said nothing. Fallon's tears spilled over. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I didn't know how to tell you without losing you. You lost me by not telling me. If you'd been honest from the start, maybe we could have figured it out. But you lied for months. How am I supposed to trust you now? Give me a chance to prove I'm trustworthy. Please, I'll do anything. I need time to process this, to figure out what was real and what was performance. Everything was real. My feelings, my love, my wanting to be with you, all real. Then you should have trusted me with the truth. I was scared. Every relationship I've had fell apart because of money. People change when they know. They start wanting things, using me. So you thought I'd use you? I didn't know. I needed to be sure. And now, are you sure? Yes. You're the most genuine person I've ever met. You love me for me, not for what I have. That's all I ever wanted. Except I don't know who me is anymore. The woman I love is supposedly broke and struggling. The woman standing here is a CEO worth millions. Which one is real? Both. They're both me. I'm still the woman who loves talking to you, who thinks Ruby is amazing, who wants to build a life with you. The money doesn't change that. The money changes everything. Don't you see that? I'm a construction worker making $40,000 a year. You're a CEO worth $400 million. How is that supposed to work? We make it work, together. People will talk. They'll say I'm with you for your money. I don't care what people say. I care. I have a daughter who'll hear those things, who'll be treated differently because her dad is dating someone wealthy, or she'll have opportunities she wouldn't have otherwise. I don't want her raised with handouts. I'm raising her to work hard, to earn things. I'm not offering handouts. I'm offering partnership, love, family. Julian leaned against the doorframe, exhausted. I don't know if I can get past this. The lying, the deception. You made me feel stupid for caring about money I thought we didn't have. You're not stupid. You're good. Too good for me, probably. Don't do that. Don't make yourself the victim when you created this situation. You're right. I'm sorry. I was wrong to lie. I should have been honest from the start. They stood in painful silence. I need you to leave, Julian finally said. I need time to think. How much time? I don't know. As much as I need. Can I call you? Not right now. Please respect that I need space. Julian, please, Fallon, just go. She left, heartbreaking. Drove home crying so hard she could barely see. At her penthouse, she collapsed on the couch. Called Maya. He hates me. He doesn't hate you. He's hurt. There's a difference. I've lost him. Lost them both. Give him time. If he really loves you, he'll come around. And if he doesn't, then you learn a hard lesson about honesty. The next week was torture. Fallon threw herself into work, dealt with the media fallout from the article, issued a statement through her PR team about respecting privacy, but mostly she ached. Missed Julian's texts, missed their coffee dates, missed Ruby's laughter, missed feeling like someone loved her for herself. She'd had that. and she destroyed it with lies. On day 8, her phone rang. Julian. She answered immediately. Hello? Hi, can we talk? Yes, anywhere, anytime. There's a park near my apartment. Can you meet me there in an hour? I'll be there. Fallon arrived early, anxious. When Julian appeared, he looked tired. They sat on a bench, not touching. I've been thinking, Julian said, about everything. And I'm still angry, still hurt, still processing. I understand, but I also miss you. Ruby misses you. She keeps asking when you're coming back. I miss her too. Miss you both so much. Here's the thing. I can forgive the lying, eventually, but I need to understand why. Really understand. So Fallon told him everything. About relationships that fell apart the moment men learned her worth. About being used, manipulated, valued only for her bank account. About desperately wanting someone to see her, not her success. I've spent 10 years building a company, she said. Sacrificed relationships, normalcy, everything for success. And when I finally wanted love, I couldn't find it. Every man wanted the CEO. Nobody wanted just Fallon. I was so lonely, so invisible despite being so visible. When I met you, when you treated me with kindness despite thinking I had nothing, it was the first time I felt seen in years. Julian listened without interrupting. I get it, he finally said. I do. But Fallon, you robbed me of the choice, of deciding for myself whether I could handle dating someone wealthy. You decided for me. You're right, I'm sorry. If we're going to try again, and I mean if, we need complete honesty about everything. No more secrets. No more secrets, I promise. I need to know everything. Your life, your company, your world. I can't be surprised again. Ask me anything. I'll tell you everything. They talked for hours. About her company, her wealth, her life. About his fears, his insecurities, his worries about raising Ruby in her world. I don't want to change my life completely, Julian said. I like my job. I like our apartment. I like the life I've built for Ruby. I don't want you to change. I fell for the man you are. I want that man. That life. But your life is different. Fancy dinners, galas, business meetings. How do I fit into that? However you want to fit. I can keep those worlds separate. That's not fair to you. Then we'll figure out how to blend them together as partners. I don't know if I can do the CEO's boyfriend thing. Then don't. Be Julian, the man I love. That's all I need. If you've ever had to rebuild trust after it's shattered, share your story below. Sometimes the hardest work is repairing what we broke ourselves. Rebuilding their relationship wasn't easy. Julian agreed to try, but his trust was shattered. Every time Fallon mentioned something about her life, he wondered what else she'd hidden. I have a business dinner on Thursday, she said one day. Okay. Do you want to come? To a business dinner with a bunch of CEOs? No thanks. It's not like that. Fallon, I don't belong in that world. I'd embarrass you. You could never embarrass me. I don't know how to talk to those people. Don't know the right wines or which fork to use. None of that matters. It matters when you're surrounded by people who do know. When they judge me for being the broke construction worker dating the CEO. I don't care what they think. I care. I have to face them. Have to see them look at me like I'm some gold digger who got lucky. This fight repeated in variations. Julian's insecurity about their wealth gap clashed with Fallon's attempts to include him in her life. I want to keep dating, Julian said after one particularly difficult conversation. But I need to do it my way. At my pace. In my world, not yours. Okay, whatever you need. So they went back to basics. Coffee dates at cheap cafes. Walks in the park with Ruby. Dinners at taco places and pizza joints. Fallon dressed down, blended in, tried to prove the woman he'd fallen for still existed. But Julian noticed everything now. The way waitstaff sometimes recognized her. The expensive watch she forgot to take off. The phone calls from assistants she tried to hide. You don't have to pretend anymore, he said one evening. I'm not pretending. This is who I am with you. But it's not all of who you are. You're running a company, making decisions that affect thousands of people. I see you checking your phone constantly. Work is demanding. I know. And you're trying to fit into my life like your life doesn't exist. But it does. We can't build a relationship on you pretending to be someone smaller than you are. What do you want from me? I want you to be yourself, all of yourself. I want to figure out how we fit together, not how you can shrink to fit into my world. It was a turning point. Slowly, carefully, Fallon started introducing Julian to her real life. Not the galas and fancy dinners, but the meaningful parts. Her office where he saw her command rooms and make decisions. This is incredible, he admitted. Watching you work. You're brilliant. Thank you. I've never seen this side of you. I was afraid you'd see it differently if you knew. I see it exactly as it is, impressive as hell. She took him to a charity event her company sponsored. Not a black tie gala, but a community center opening in a low-income neighborhood. Julian watched her interact with families, promise resources, commit funds to programs. You're doing real good, he said afterward, making actual differences in people's lives. That's what the money should do, solve problems. Not all wealthy people think that way. I'm not most wealthy people. No, you're not. They visited the company's tech incubator, where Fallon mentored young entrepreneurs. Julian saw her invest in a single-mother startup, offer guidance, open doors. You gave her a chance, he observed. Someone gave me a chance once. This is paying it forward. I'm starting to understand your world better. It's not what I thought. What did you think? That it was all shallow, parties and excess and meaningless spending. But you're using what you have to help people. Trying to. I can't save everyone, but I can help some. That matters. As Julian saw more of Fallon's life, his insecurity shifted. Not gone, but evolving. I'm never going to be a CEO, he said one night. I don't want you to be. I want you to be you. But in your world, I'll always be the construction worker who got lucky. In my world, you'll be the man I love. That's all that matters. People will judge us. Let them. Their opinions don't pay our bills or raise our children. Speaking of children, have you thought about Ruby? How this affects her? Every day. I love her, Julian. Want to be part of her life. Want to give her opportunities without changing who she is. She's been asking questions about why you live in a fancy building, why you have a driver sometimes, why people call you Ms. Pierce. What do you tell her? The truth, that you have an important job, that you work hard, that money doesn't change who you are as a person. Good, that's exactly right. She wants to see your office. Really? She's curious about what you do. I told her you help people with computers and technology. She can visit anytime. I'd love to show her. The next week, Julian brought Ruby to Pierce Digital Media headquarters. Ruby's eyes went wide at the modern building, the impressive lobby, the floor-to-ceiling windows of Fallon's corner office. You work here? Ruby asked. I do. Want to see something cool? Fallon showed Ruby the design labs where creative teams built apps and websites. Let her try some of the technology. Introduced her to employees who were patient and kind. Your job is so cool, Ruby exclaimed. Thank you. I'm lucky to do work I love. Daddy says you're very smart. Your daddy is smart too. He builds things with his hands. That's a different kind of smart and just as important. Ruby looked between them. Are you going to marry my daddy? Julian nearly choked. Fallon crouched to Ruby's level. Would that be okay with you? Only if you promise not to leave, like Mommy left. Fallon's heart broke. Your mommy didn't want to leave, sweetheart. She had an accident. But yes, I promise. If your daddy and I get married, I'm staying. Forever. Okay then, you can marry him. After Ruby ran off to explore more, Julian pulled Fallon aside. You can't promise her forever. What if things don't work out? They will work out. I'm not going anywhere. You can't know that. Yes, I can. Julian, I love you. I love Ruby. I want to build a life with you both. I've never been more certain of anything. Even with all our problems, the trust issues, the wealth gap, the different worlds, especially with all that, because we're working through it together. That's what matters. I'm scared, Fallon. Scared I'm not enough. Scared I'll fail Ruby by bringing you into her life and then losing you. You won't lose me. I'm here, completely here, all in. 3 months after their reconciliation, they were stronger. Not perfect. They still fought about money, about worlds colliding, about insecurities. But they fought fair, communicated honestly, worked through problems instead of avoiding them. Julian started therapy to work through his fears about the wealth gap. My therapist says I have imposter syndrome, he told Fallon, that I feel like I don't deserve you or this life. What do you think? I think she's right. I keep waiting for you to realize you could do better. There is no better. There's just you, the man I love. How do you know? Maybe you'd be happier with someone from your world. I've dated men from my world. They were all wrong. You're right. That's all that matters. Fallon also made changes. Started seeing her own therapist about her trust issues and fear of being used. I've been so focused on protecting myself that I hurt the people I love, she admitted to Julian. We both made mistakes. We're both learning. Can we keep learning together? Yes, but Fallon, I need something from you. Anything. I need you to stop trying to fit into my life perfectly. Stop pretending money doesn't matter. It does matter. We need to figure out how to navigate that honestly. Okay, how? I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out together. They started having honest conversations about finances, about what Julian was comfortable with and what made him feel like charity. I want to pay my share, he insisted. When we go out, when we do things, I need to contribute. But that limits what we can do to what you can afford. Then maybe we do things I can afford. And sometimes we do things you can afford as your treat. But it's communicated, not assumed. That seems complicated. Everything about us is complicated, but we make it work. They establish boundaries. Julian would pay for everyday things. Dinners out, weekend activities, small purchases. Fallon would handle bigger things. Vacations, Ruby school expenses, investments in their future. This feels more equal, Julian said. Like we're both contributing. We are, just in different ways. Thank you for respecting that I need this. Thank you for being honest about what you need. 6 months after reconnecting, they'd found their rhythm. Still imperfect, still navigating challenges, but together. Ruby thrived, splitting time between their different worlds seamlessly. I like that Daddy and Fallon are different, she told her friend. Daddy teaches me about working hard. Fallon teaches me about dreaming big. I need both. One evening, after putting Ruby to bed, Julian and Fallon sat on his apartment balcony. I've been thinking, Julian said. About? About our future, about marriage. Fallon's heart raced. And? I want to marry you, want to build a life together. But I'm terrified. Of what? Of not being enough. Of Ruby getting hurt. Of our worlds never really blending. Of failing at this. I'm terrified too. Of pushing you away. Of my money coming between us. Of losing you and Ruby. So we're both terrified? Completely. Maybe that means we're doing it right. Maybe being scared means it matters enough to fight for. I think you're right. Julian took her hand. Fallon Pierce, will you marry me? Not despite our complications, but because of them. Because we've proven we can work through anything. Because I love you exactly as you are. CEO and kind woman and everything in between. Fallon's tears spilled over. Yes, absolutely yes. They kissed and it felt like coming home. Like all the struggles and fights and fears had led to this moment. This certainty that they belonged together. I don't have a ring yet, Julian admitted, saving up for one. I don't need a ring, I just need you. You'll have both, I promise. It might take a few months, but I'll get you a ring I paid for. Not one you bought yourself or I bought with your money, one I earned. That matters to you? It does. Call it pride, call it whatever. But I need to give you something I worked for. Okay, I can wait. Besides, we have time, we're not rushing this. How long do you want to wait? At least a year. I want Ruby to adjust. Want us to be rock solid. Want to do this right. A year sounds perfect. If you believe love is worth fighting for through every challenge, subscribe to Solo Parent Stories for more tales of relationships that survive the impossible. Planning a wedding when you're from completely different worlds proved even more complicated than dating. I want something small, Julian said. Just close friends and family. I have business associates who'll be offended if they're not invited. So invite them. That makes it a huge wedding. Then don't invite them. It's complicated. These relationships matter for business. And our wedding day should be about business relationships? They were learning to navigate these conflicts, but it wasn't easy. Eventually, they compromised. Small, intimate ceremony with just people who mattered. Larger reception afterward where Fallon could include business associates. 2 parties, Fallon suggested. One for us, one for everyone else. That's very CEO of you. Is that a compliment? I'm not sure yet. Wedding planning revealed other tensions. I can't afford a wedding planner, Julian said, looking at the proposals Fallon's assistant had gathered. I can. It's my gift to us. But I want to contribute equally. Julian, you're contributing what matters. Your time, your ideas, your commitment. The money is just logistics. It's more than logistics. It's making me feel useless. You're not useless. You're essential. But we need to be practical. Let me handle the financial aspects so we can both handle the emotional ones. I hate that this is an issue. I know, but we're figuring it out. They decided Julian would handle everything he could afford. Invitations, his suit, the rehearsal dinner. Fallon would handle the larger expenses. Venue, catering, photographer. This still feels unequal, Julian said. Life is unequal, but our partnership isn't. You bring as much to this relationship as I do. Just different things. Like what? Like teaching me how to be present, how to prioritize people over profits, how to be a parent, how to build a home that feels safe and warm instead of just expensive. Those things matter more than any amount of money I could spend. You really believe that? Completely. Ruby was Flower Girl, obviously. She took the role seriously, asking questions about every detail. Will there be a big cake? Yes. Can I have 2 pieces? At your own dad's wedding? You can have 3. I like Fallon. She's good at being a stepmom. Julian overheard this conversation, felt his chest tighten. Later, he told Fallon, she called you her stepmom. Is that okay? It's more than okay. It means she feels secure with you. That's all I ever wanted. I love her, Julian, like she's my own. I know, I see it every day. As the wedding approached, Julian's insecurities flared. My family is going to be underdressed. My friends are going to feel out of place. Then we make them feel included. We'll have your favorite beer. Play the music you love. Include traditions that matter to you. It's still going to be obvious that we're from different worlds. So, we've been from different worlds since day one. Hasn't stopped us yet. People will talk. Let them talk. We're building a life, not a performance. The night before the wedding, Julian's best friend pulled him aside. Man, are you sure about this? She's a billionaire. You're a construction worker. That's a hell of a gap. I'm sure. But what if it doesn't work? What if you can't handle her world? Then we'll figure it out, together. That's what marriage is. I just don't want to see you hurt. I appreciate that. But I love her, really love her, and she loves me. That's enough. The wedding day was beautiful. Small ceremony in a garden. 50 people who genuinely mattered. Fallon wore a simple, elegant dress. Julian wore a suit he'd saved for months to buy. Ruby scattered petals with utmost seriousness. When Julian saw Fallon walking toward him, he cried, "You're beautiful." "So are you." They exchanged vows they'd written themselves. "Julian, you taught me what love looks like," Fallon said. "Not love that wants something from me, but love that sees me. You showed me that success without connection is meaningless, that wealth without purpose is empty, that what matters most is who's beside you, not what's in your bank account. I promise to honor that every day, to choose you, choose us, choose this family we're building. Always." Julian's hands shook as he spoke. "Fallon, you scared me at first. The money, the power, the different worlds. I didn't think I could fit in your life, but you showed me I didn't have to fit. I just had to be myself. You loved me when you thought I had nothing, and you love me now when you have everything. You've given Ruby stability, love, opportunities I couldn't provide alone. I promise to be your partner, not your project, to stand beside you, not behind you, to build a life where our differences make us stronger, not weaker." When they kissed, Ruby cheered loudly. The reception was larger, filled with Fallon's business associates and Julian's construction crew, sitting side by side, finding common ground over good food and open bars. "Your husband seems great," one of Fallon's executives said. "He is. Best decision I ever made." "How do you handle the differences?" "By remembering what matters. Love, respect, partnership. Everything else is just logistics." During their first dance, Julian whispered, "I'm terrified." "Of what?" "Of waking up and this being a dream, of somehow losing you, of not being enough. You're more than enough. You're everything. Promise?" "Promise." After the wedding, they moved into a new house. Not Fallon's penthouse, not Julian's small apartment, but something in between, nice enough to reflect Fallon's success, modest enough for Julian to feel comfortable. "This is ours," Fallon said on their first night there. "Feels weird having this much space. We'll fill it. With Ruby's toys, with life, with memories. With kids? Do you want more kids?" "Eventually, if you do." "I do. Want to give Ruby siblings. Build a family with you. Then we'll build it, together." They settled into married life with its usual adjustments, learning each other's habits, navigating joint finances, blending parenting styles. "You're too soft with Ruby," Julian said after Fallon let her skip homework to watch a movie. "And you're too strict sometimes. Balance, remember? This is going to take work." "All good things do." Fallon scaled back her CEO duties, brought in a COO to handle day-to-day operations. "I'm not retiring," she told her board, "but I'm prioritizing differently. Family comes first now." Some board members were unhappy. "You're abandoning the company." "I'm creating balance. Something I should have done years ago." Julian was promoted to foreman at his construction company. Better pay, more responsibility, pride and advancement he'd earned. "You could stop working," Fallon offered. Focus on Ruby, on home. No, I need to work. Need the purpose, the accomplishment, the identity that isn't just your husband. I respect that. Thank you. They found their rhythm. Mornings with Ruby before school. Julian at work. Fallon splitting time between office and home. Family dinners every night, non-negotiable. Weekends together, building traditions. This is what I always wanted, Fallon said one Sunday, watching Julian and Ruby build a treehouse in their backyard. What us? This normal life, family, belonging. Pretty sure this isn't normal life. We have a chef and a housekeeper. Okay, our version of normal life. I like our version. Me too. 3 years after their wedding, Fallon and Julian sat on their porch watching Ruby play with her baby brother, Mason. Can you believe this is our life? Fallon asked. Some days no, most days yes. What changed? I stopped questioning whether I deserved it. Started just living it. That took work. Still takes work, but it's worth it. Mason, 18 months old, was the perfect addition to their family. Had Fallon's eyes and Julian's stubborn streak. Ruby adored him, took her big sister role seriously. I teach him things, she explained to her friends. Important things like sharing and being kind. She's an amazing sister, Julian told Fallon. She learned from an amazing father. We're doing okay, aren't we? At this whole family thing? Better than okay, we're doing great. Their marriage wasn't perfect. They still fought about money occasionally. About Julian's need to provide versus Fallon's ability to provide. About how to raise the kids without spoiling them. About navigating their different worlds. But they fought fair. Always came back to love. Always remembered what mattered. My therapist says we're a success story, Fallon mentioned one evening. A success story? A couple who overcame significant obstacles. The wealth gap, the trust issues, the different backgrounds. We made it work. We're still making it work. It's not past tense. True, but Julian, we did it. We built something real despite everything against us. You sound surprised. I am sometimes. I spent so many years being lonely, being valued for what I had instead of who I was. I didn't think I'd ever find this. This? Partnership, real love, family, home. Julian pulled her close. I didn't think I'd find it either. After my wife died, I thought that was it. One great love in a lifetime. Didn't imagine I could have this again. Are you glad you were wrong? Every single day. Ruby ran up, breathless. Mom, can we get a puppy? That's a dad decision. Dad, can we get a puppy? That's a mom decision. Ruby rolled her eyes. You guys always do this. That's what parents do, Fallon said. We're a united front. But I really want a puppy. We'll talk about it, Julian said. Family meeting. After Ruby ran off, Fallon smiled. She called me mom. She's been doing that for a year. I know, but I still get emotional every time. You're her mom in every way that matters. I love her so much, both of them. This whole chaotic, beautiful family. Fallon had stepped down as CEO the previous year, became executive chairwoman instead. Set policy, guided vision, but let others handle daily operations. I spent 20 years building a company, she told Julian. I want to spend the next 20 building a life. Her company thrived under new leadership. Stock prices remained strong. Employee satisfaction increased. Turned out Fallon's constant presence hadn't been as essential as she'd thought. That's both humbling and liberating, she admitted. You created something that can succeed without you. That's the ultimate success. I'd rather be here, with you, with the kids. This matters more. Julian continued working construction. Had been offered management positions, but preferred the work. I like building things, he explained. Like seeing tangible results. Coming home tired from real work. You don't have to work. I know, but I want to, need to. It's part of who I am. I love that about you. That you stayed yourself despite everything changing. Did you expect me to change? I worried you might. That money would change you. Money didn't make me. Why would it change me? They'd established the Shaw Pierce Foundation, focused on helping working families. Childcare subsidies, job training, emergency funds. We help people like us, Julian explained to donors. People working hard but barely surviving. People one emergency away from crisis. We give them breathing room. The foundation helped thousands of families. Real tangible support. This is what wealth should do, Fallon told her former business associates. Solve actual problems for actual people. On their 5th anniversary, they renewed their vows. Small ceremony, just family. 5 years ago, I promised to choose you every day, Fallon said. I've kept that promise. Even on hard days, even when we fought, even when worlds collided. I chose you. I'll keep choosing you. Forever. 5 years ago, I was terrified, Julian said. Terrified I wasn't enough, that our differences would destroy us, that I'd lose you. But you proved that love is stronger than fear, that partnership can bridge any gap, that different worlds can become one world. I'm not terrified anymore. I'm just grateful. They kissed while Ruby and Mason clapped. Still happy? Julian asked later. Happier than I ever imagined possible. Even though I'm still a construction worker? Especially because you're still a construction worker. You stayed yourself. That's what I fell in love with. Even though you're not actually broke, even though, in fact, I'm glad I'm not broke, means I can give our kids opportunities, help people who need it, build something meaningful. We built something meaningful, this family. Best thing I ever built. They sat in comfortable silence watching their children play. Different worlds that had become one, CEO and construction worker, wealth and humility. Different backgrounds merged into a shared future. You know what I realized? Fallon said. What? I tested all those men to see who would stay when they thought I had nothing. But you were the real test. Would I stay when things got hard? When you were hurt, angry, distant? When trust was broken? I'm glad I stayed. Me too. We're worth the work. Always. Because sometimes love means staying when it's hard, fighting through differences, bridging gaps that seem impossible, building something real from complications, and proving that different worlds can become one beautiful shared life. If you believe love is worth fighting for through every challenge and difference, subscribe to Solo Parent Stories for more tales of relationships that survive the impossible.